I recently watched a video that said that we're all running scripts from our childhood and that our mammal brain is just trying to protect us and keep us safe. And so we all wear a mask, even if we don't think that we are. That's what this channel is all about, is those echoes from childhood that bring you into adulthood. You bring those things along with you and you don't even realize a lot of times. So I talk a lot about the subconscious and how to bring those things up. And let's get into it. Let's go on this journey together. Hey friends, Michele here with Choosing to Shine. What's going on? How was everybody's week? It's been beautiful weather here in Tampa, Florida. Oh man, I've been off for a couple days and I've been spending a lot of time outside grounding and meditating and doing some self-reiki. I need all the healing. Any prayers you guys want to send? I will accept those as well. I have alluded to last week, I suffered a major personal loss that I just can't talk about right now because of a lot of things, but someone very, very close to me. And had another therapy session, and she asked me how I was doing with dark thoughts because it is a very deep wound that I suffered a few weeks ago. And I told her I was good. I was really concentrating on the podcast to be here for you guys if my story can help you guys in any way. And once again, I forgot to bring the tissues. I think I'll be okay. I finally made it through one day the last 2 weeks without crying. So hopefully I can make it another day. If anyone can, even if I reached one person and that one person said, wow, I really see her struggle and that's my struggle too. And I know if she's okay, then I'm okay. If I can reach one person, it'll make it so much worth it. Well, I didn't make it. So, oh gosh. All right. I'm going to change the subject. So I am so happy that you guys have joined me here today. Obviously, I'm making content for you guys. And like I said, in hopes that you see a reflection in my struggles. And I also went ahead and lit my candle to set an intention of connection and healing through deep conversations. So I'm still trying to get approved for some extended leave just so I can work through some of these fresh wounds. I was off, like I said, and I'm just trying to keep my mind and body busy, but also giving myself the grace, space, and relaxation that I need to heal. So I would say that's going to be the main theme here because this is so fresh this week. I know I talk a lot about nervous system regulators, note to self, but a lot of deep breathing, a lot of meditating, a lot of praying, a lot of grounding, asking for help if you need it. Anything that needs to be said, no matter how hard that conversation is. Go ahead and try to have that conversation. So once you get through that season or period or whatever it is, there'll be no regrets, that you know that you handled everything as well as you can. And if you do have regrets, then apologize again. That's all we can do, right? Do better next time. So I am going to go ahead and grab my cards. I asked for something easy last week, but the universe did not agree with that. So let's try for something easy. And also, I wanted to say shout out to my therapist. Hi, Miss Kim. I told her I was putting a lot of time and energy into the podcast while I was off, trying to make some extra clips and things like that, just like some promotion. And so I was telling her about the podcast, that it was unscripted, and I pull a reflection card and I answer it to something usually from my past. And she asked me if it was helpful, and I said, yes, it's actually very helpful, because even last week when I was telling a story about my mom driving me down to this man's house who I knew who meant harm for me. But once she saw it with her own eyes, and it's just last week's or last episode, so you can go back and see the whole story there. But I'm wondering if she was an avoidant as well, and I talked about that, and I talked about that last week, and I talked about that with my therapist. Can you not settle down, my little girl? Why are you not comfy? There we go. She does not like this couch. She just scratches constantly. So this is therapy for me. Talking through issues and talking about the past, because just like journaling, it allows me to, as I'm trying to tell you a story, I'm describing it possibly in a little bit more detail than I would think about it in my mind, right? So it does help me a lot once I'm done. And then obviously I go back and I'll watch it through again when I post it. And because sometimes I kind of have like, does anybody else do this? I kind of have like an out-of-body experience, basically. And I don't know if it's because I'm nervous. I guess I'm a little nervous, but sometimes I just don't remember everything that I said. And then when I look back at it, I was like, oh yeah, I said this and I said that. So I always go back and rewatch it just to double check. So anyway, my therapist said she was going to watch the podcast to see what it was all about. So I'm like, you will learn a lot about me. So I did send her the link. All right, so let's see what this card, oh man. The universe just wants to give it to me hard. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to forgive someone else for? Let's see what the other side says. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to forgive yourself for? Well, like I said, that's pretty fresh. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about that. Let me think about that. Something in my past, a little further back. Let's just go with the story that I told last week. which was my mom, but I didn't forgive her for that until I was out of the house. So I usually show you guys in case you want to journal as well. The question I'm going to answer is, what's the hardest thing that you've ever had to forgive someone else for? So after I moved out and I was married, I read an article, I believe it was by Dr. Phil. And I mean, we're talking, this is 30 something years ago, probably now. I read an article by him and he said, forgiveness isn't for the other person, it's for yourself. And if you continue to be angry at them, basically, that you are giving them permission to still hurt you. And I'm severely paraphrasing there because obviously I've not reread that article. I would have to look it up. I believe it was in a magazine. I would have to find it. I don't even know if it still exists. It was so long ago. But severely paraphrasing, basically, if you're upset with someone and you're angry at them, and every time you think about that, you're angry at yourself, you're beating yourself up, like, why didn't I say anything? Why didn't I talk about that? Whatever the situation is, that is hurting you. You are hurting yourself. The other person doesn't know anything about it, usually. So you forgive the other person so you no longer hurt yourself any longer. And that was a very, very powerful, short little article that I read that's affected me my whole life since I read it, like 30 years now. So whenever he first came on the scene, but yeah, that was some good advice. So I hope I explained that correctly. So at that point, I kind of was like, oh yeah, like I'm angry about this and I'm angry about that. And at the same time, I was actually going to a anger management class because I didn't have a lot of emotions. I just felt angry all the time. Like it was either happy or I was angry. There was like nothing else in between. And so, I didn't want to raise kids in that environment. So I actually started deep diving a lot right before I had kids, and probably like the first 5 years of their life, I was like, oof, like I gotta get myself straightened out because I don't want any of this to. Basically, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? So I was on a quest to make myself a better person. So in turn, they would be a better person, if that's an easy way to say it. And I was lucky enough to be able to stay at home at that time. And so I could give them all the attention they need. I had identical twins. Give them all the attention they needed, and then, give myself a lot of attention as well. And I'm a lot different person, as you've probably realized from the stories that I tell previous to probably around age 21 to 25 to now. I really do, and I really have made it a mission of mine to be the best version of myself that I can be for me and others around me. My homework this week from my therapist was a self-love workbook, which I'm excited to get. And that's actually how the podcast came up. So I was like, Oh, that's so funny because that's literally what my channel is all about, is that self-love journey and working towards it and healing the hurts and being the best version of ourselves, right? So yeah, so I don't know if that whole story will make sense unless you watch last episode story, but oh man, I think I'm gonna cut it short this week. I've just, like I said, been an emotional mess. So I don't want to get too deep into, I don't want to pull another card basically and get deep into another topic because I don't know if I can handle it emotionally right now. What else was I going to tell you guys? So takeaways, nervous system regulators, journaling, talking out loud, deep breathing, meditation, grounding, all the things. I list a lot of that stuff on my Instagram channel. If you guys want to check that out, it's at Choosing to Shine as well. So it's super easy to find. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of leaving you guys short, but I promised you guys something every Sunday, and I am going to honor that unless I am literally sick in bed and I can't do it. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Yeah, because I just feel like super distracted, and it was good for me to talk about things. I just don't want to get too deep in the weeds there that I can't find my way out, basically, without any tissues next to my side. I'm going to go get those right now, actually. So once again, thank you guys so much for being here. I am keeping all the transcripts in a running live document, or I call it like a living document, in hopes of one day taking all of those transcripts, pulling out all the stories, and then writing a memoir. So I hope you guys will follow me here at Choosing to Shine while I share all my dumpster fire stories with you guys. And I hope you're getting something out of it too. And I hope each week, I am watching a lot of videos on storytelling and things like that. I do want to get better at storytelling. I'm like the person that answers back to all the text messages with just emojis. Like this is who I am, but I don't just talk a lot out in public. I'm an introvert. So if I get with my best friend, like obviously we're talking a lot of deep conversations, or a really old friend, we can talk for hours, like that kind of thing. But I just don't show up at work and like talk to people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not that person. I put my earphones on, I do my work, I go home, that's it. So I really do hope you guys are getting something out of it. And please journal. It is important. There are things that come up that you're just not aware of, that are buried there in the subconscious. And I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I will put in the comments the email address that you can email me if you want a link to that living document. And it'll just keep growing over time. And eventually, like, the whole book will be in that document. So thank you guys so much for being here again, and love to all.